Hello, everybody. I am live. It is Monday night. Give you an update on another crazy day. I definitely have more of the car story to share with you. Whitney joins us, and we'll take it from there because I don't want to start the story before some people come into the room. So I'm going to wait for a minute. Hi, Myra. How you doing? I just wanted to kind of update everybody on the car story, which it gets curiouser and curiouser. I had, if you recall, last night I got stuck after I picked up some stuff for the dogs, and I was afraid to drive the car after that. Well, what happened today was I finally spoke to the guy that I bought it from this morning. And he said to me, well, I wasn't here when you called. I had left already. And he said, I could bring you a car and take the car. He said, but you ought to just stop by one of the dealerships that are local and have them take a look at it and see what's going on. And I said, well, I don't think you can just stop by. You have to have an appointment because there are lots of people who have appointments. And they have the specialists who come and deal with you and then, set the appointment up. So I tried to call the local dealerships. I tried calling the one in Massapequa. I tried 8 times and I couldn't get through to anybody. I felt like I was in the twilight zone. I could not get anybody to answer the phone in sales, service, the operator, the receptionist. There was there was no getting through to a human being in that place. I finally got through to the one Rockville Center. Problem being their service is in Hempstead, and that is a little farther away as well. They told me that yes, in fact, they could my car. The problem that they had no loaner car available until the 13th. And I thought how different it is from the dealership that I had gotten it from last time. It seemed to me they always had available loaner cars. I mean, it was a big dealership and they got a lot of cars out, but this one, they still had nice loaner cars that you could use. So I didn't do anything about it, and it was a rainy, disgusting day. So I decided that I was going to stay home and do things in the house and just kind of catch up a little bit because I wanted to get ready for my appointment tonight, which, by the way, did not happen. Another bizarre circumstance. It's really been a strange time. I feel as if every unusual thing that can happen has been happening. I mean, what is it? It's Murphy's Law. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. So ultimately, I decided to go out because I didn't have enough food to really have any kind of a normal dinner. So I thought I'd go out and pick up a few things at the very least. Well, I got in my car, started up, and son of a gun, it did it again. It was shaking, vibrating crazily, and the light went on again. It was the check engine light. So I called, they have, Mercedes has Embrace, and I called their roadside assistance. And I said, I don't know. Hi, how are you? Yeah, isn't that nice that you made it to alive? I had, I did it again. I did it again. Lost my bloody train of thought. Um, where was I? Totally gone. I spoke to I spoke to everybody. When I was calling Embrace, and I called the roadside assistance, and I said, I'm not even sure if you're the people I should be speaking to, because I don't need Embrace, right? I don't need to have a tire changed or anything like that. No, no, it has not been a good day. It's been another bizarre day. It's been a really, really bizarre day. So I said to them, I don't know if this is under your purview, really, but if it is, I need to have a car that functions. And right now, the check engine light goes on, and the car did it again. It started to shake. I was going to try to drive it locally just to pick up a little couple of things at the supermarket and to run one quick errand. Couldn't do it. So I sat in my driveway, and when I called Embrace, I said, is this something I need you for? And they said, absolutely. The check engine light. They said, no, we will have to tow you. And I said, okay. So he said to me, we can tow you to the closest local dealership. And I said, that's fine. But if you're going to tow me to the local dealership, I need to make sure they're going to have a car for me to go home in, because I need to go home. I can't be trapped there. So I had to call back. The problem was there was something wrong with their phones. So every time I tried to reach them all day long, it rang and rang and rang, and nobody picked up anything. So obviously the phones were not ringing where they could hear it, or there was something significantly wrong with their phone system today. Another one of those crazy things. Why today? Why when I needed to reach them? So ultimately, they told me that if I didn't get there by, now mind you, it was about 4 o'clock at this point, or four something. They said, if you don't get here by 7, we'll be closed. And I said, 7? It's 4 something. And she said, well, it usually takes, after they call to have a tow truck dispatched, it can take a half hour, an hour and a half. They don't know. So she said, I just want to warn you, because if you come here and we're closed, you're going to be left to your own devices. So I said, let me call them back and find out what they think time-wise, and we can go from there. I called them back. Everybody at Embrace was really lovely, very helpful, and I was extremely happy with my experience with them. So they told me that yes, the tow truck could probably be there in about a half hour, and that I needed, that I could definitely make it in time. So I started calling them back to try to tell them I was coming. I called and I called and I called, and then I called again, and nothing, absolutely nothing. I could not get them. So I said to myself, I said, that's great. So now I'm going to bring the car in, and they'll be there because somebody's going to be there till 7. But I don't know if they can have a loaner car for me. And then what? I can't get home. When the tow driver finally came, and by the way, I had left another message for the guy who sold me the car saying, you really have to do something. I cannot be here with a car that is 2 days old that I can't use, and I don't have a car that I can use. What am I supposed to do? He didn't get back to me until I saw later that he had left a message for me, but by then I was really embroiled in the whole other situation where I was going to bring it in. The tow driver finally arrived at my house maybe 20 after 5, something like that. And it was not a normal tow truck from here. I mean, there are different kinds and sizes of tow trucks. This was one of those huge ones where they can flatbed the cars. And he said to me, "You can come with me." So I looked up and I thought, gee, the cab of that truck is very high. I don't know if I can get up there. And he said to me, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll help you. It's no problem." The steps are very, very far, spaced far apart. That doesn't work for me. It, I managed somehow to climb up, and it sort of reminds me of the story of the first day of filming of David's movie. And I've told this story, I think, at least once before. But I finally did get into the truck. And the story with the first day of filming was that they were filming on location at a park. It was Sunken Meadow Park on Long Island, and it had rained the night before, and it was everything was wet. At one point, they needed to climb this hill to get to the top because they were going to film a scene up there. And everybody had warned me, and my son had warned me, wear boots. So I wore boots, my pretty boots with my nice heel. And when I got to the thing, everybody was laughing at me. They said, "These are the kind of boots that you wear to climb a hill." So David all but had his hand under my butt to give me a little support as I tried to claw my way up the hill with those high-heeled boots. Yes, yes, I had another rough day. In any case, I finally got into the tow truck and I said to the driver, I said, "I have this fear that I'm never getting off this truck because the steps were just, first of all, very shallow steps and very, very widely spaced. And it was hard to get up. But when you go upstairs and you have an injury or you've had surgery that way on a hip or a lower limb, you go up on your good foot, good leg, and you go down on the bad. So going up, I was able to pull myself up into the truck. Going down was another story altogether. And by the way, the tow truck driver was charming. We had a lovely conversation on the way out there, and we did indeed get there in time. So he opens the door of the truck for me to get out. I look down and I think, I'm going to be spending the rest of my life in the cab of this truck because there's no way that I can get out. I tried. I got on the first step and I lowered my bad leg and got my foot on the second step, which was very far from the first. And he had me holding his hand and he said, "Okay, now step down with your other foot." I couldn't do it because I knew that if I took the pressure off my good leg, that my right leg was not going to make it. It was going to collapse under me. And I can't risk that. I can't risk that because that's where the fear was all along because of losing the femoral nerve, that I was not going to be able to keep my leg up, or that my knee was going to buckle. So it was a very scary ride there because of that. And getting off the thing was very difficult. They finally brought out a nice step stool that did help some. And two guys, including the tow truck driver, had to sort of grab me and physically lower me onto the ground. After that, I never would have made that last step. So it was really, really frightening. And it made me realize once again that there are a lot of things that I just cannot do. And when I thought about it, I really should not have gone with him. I should have had somebody take me or gotten an Uber or done something so that I didn't have to risk that. That was terribly risky. When we got to the place, the guy drove the car into, oh, by the way, the tow truck driver, when he backed the car out of my driveway and put it onto the bed of the truck, he said to me, he said, there's something wrong with that car. He said, that's not normal. And, okay, Gina. I didn't know, no, I didn't know that. Yeah, I really didn't know that. So I'm glad you told me. So it was, did it again. Lost my train of thought. Then I have to wait for it to come back, which takes a little longer these days. Oh, so he was telling me that there was something wrong with the car. He said, this is not normal. And he said to me, you're not the only one. He said, I'm who had a brand new 3 hours old Jeep. And he said, I had to tow her in, and the tow truck driver, right? I had to tow her in. And he said, when I towed her in, it turned out that there was a really serious problem with the transmission on her car, and she wound up getting her money back. So that was that. When I got into the dealer, I don't know if anybody's still here, but this is such a pain. It's going like the rest of the day. I just wanted to finish the car story and then I'll get off because clearly I'm not having a great connection today. It is possibly because of the weather, because we've had a lot of rain, so that could be part of what's going on. I apologize for it, but there's nothing I can do about it. In any case, when the guy brought the car in, he said to me he had a feeling that it was misfiring. And he said he thought, that it could be that, but he would let me know tomorrow. And he said, if it's anything serious, if there is anything really wrong with it, he said, if you got a car, he said, oh. So I really felt like he was telling me the truth. And he was so nice and so accommodating. And as I say, he said he'll call me tomorrow. They'll also fix the seat that was unfinished, and he already took care of that thing in the back that said that the backrest on the back seat was not latched, and I wasn't exactly sure what that meant or how that worked. Ouch! I have to tell you, I'm breaking every one of my nails, every one of them. I'm gonna have to start from scratch. So that's the story with the car at this point. I have no idea. He actually, when he put down the mileage coming in, the mileage on the car was 88 miles. And he said it probably had about 13 to 15, no, he said it probably had about 15 miles on it. And then it was another 50 miles bringing it over from Southampton. And, I think I put maybe I put 8 miles on the car. So that was all that was attributable to me. But the car has no mileage on it. And it was a perfectly, lovely looking car, but it's got to function well. And I said, I just pray that it is a simple fix. But they'll do the diagnostics on it tomorrow, and hopefully they come up with an easy solution, and it's not going to be something that's going to be an ongoing problem. I do know that they have lemon laws in case there is an issue. I'm going to have to look them up to see exactly what you have to know and have to do just in case. I'm hoping I never need it. And I'm going to take it from there. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. At least I have a car that functions. I am going to be going tomorrow morning with my next door neighbor. She's going to take me over to the social services, I believe it is, where I have to give them my application to try to get the handicapped parking sticker for my car. So that will be enormously helpful, because anytime I go into a big parking lot, it's really hard for me to walk a distance. without stopping. So it'll be a whole when I can park close to the places that I'm going to. So that is essentially my story today. Aside from, whatever little things with the dogs, it's just a little bit more of the same. I think they're definitely more comfortable and feeling more like, this is home after all. And if I can only get past whatever the stomach issues were. I have no idea. I didn't give them any canned food today. I gave them just the dry kibble, which they do not like. I mean, alone, because they really love it with the other. But I can't have these poopy butts running around here. And oh, by the way, but I think I mentioned the last time, and let me mention again, just in case anybody has animals and you have any issues with anything, either urine or if they have, if they have diarrhea or any kind of bowel movements or vomit, even cats, dogs, whatever. And it works on carpet, it works on floors, it works on tile, it works on everything. It's called My Pet Peed, and it is a really good product. It is a very expensive product, I think. I think it's about $27 a bottle. I think it's 32-ounce bottle. I think so. I just ordered more because I'm almost out of the one that I had. I've had this one for years. So, yeah, it's a great, great product. Just in case anybody has a need for it, I wanted to share that. And I don't really new at this point. The visiting nurse never came today, so I don't know whether they didn't put in the order. It's going to stop this week. They're not going to be coming anymore after this week, so I'm going to be on my own. The once again, the wound, the hole in my body is really closing up. It's getting to the point where there's very little left of it. I did my own wound care today, and the leg's still. It's hard to explain, but if you have ever had a tooth drilled and they get really near the nerve and the Novocaine wears off, you didn't have enough Novocaine, you didn't have Novocaine, whatever the story is, it's that kind of a pain. If you translate it from your teeth into the leg, my whole leg is feeling the effects of that nerve pain from that area. But I think there's a little something getting better in there. I'm not sure yet. Well, today with the tow truck certainly might send that into a little bit of a tailspin for a little. But it is feeling a little bit better, so I'm grateful for that. And that's about it. As I say, I've got a number of videos to do for you with products that have been sent to me. I wanted to let you know again, and well, I started to do a regular, let me leave it alone, because I started to do a regular video yesterday, and I was hoping to finish it as a car vlog, but I couldn't do it because I couldn't drive. So I want to just tell you a little bit more about that. I want to show you how I wash my wigs. I've got a number of things kind of lined up that I want to do. I also want to do an organizing video showing you some of the organizational things that I use for my drawers and cabinets and things like that. So if you have any ideas for anything else that you'd like to see me do, if you can think of anything that that you'd particularly like to know about or talk about, let me know, and I'm happy to talk about it. The appointment never happened today, unfortunately. It was he told me to call him this morning. When I called, his voicemail the mailbox was full. I couldn't get through for a long time. When I finally got through, he acted as if he didn't know who I was, and that was a little bit scary. So I don't know what's going to happen ultimately with that. It did not happen today. Will it happen? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know what he's doing. I really don't know what he's doing. So I think we need to leave it at that until the next time. So take care, everybody. You have a great night, and I will see you soon. I hope to have the end of the story and have it be a positive end tomorrow when he calls me about the car. I'm praying that it's not a lemon. In fact, I'm praying that it was just a little thing that had to be sorted out. And again, his feeling was that it might be just misfiring. He said it did not shake when he drove it in, but the engine light was on. But it definitely was shaking almost every time that I was in the car. Didn't remain shaking. Oh, another interesting thing. When I had spoken to the girl from the other dealership, the one who couldn't take it in until the 13th, she asked me what color the light was on the engine light, and I said it was kind of an orange color. She said, "Oh, that's good." She said, "If it's red, then you should stop driving it. Don't drive it if it's red." And I said, "Well, no, it's orange." But that's it. So I'm also going to have to take a look at that um, user's manual, the owner's manual um, on the car. So I might learn how to do one or two things actually. So that's it. Take care. I love you all. And I will see you, I'm sure, tomorrow because hopefully there'll be more news. I'm looking for good news tomorrow. I am thinking tomorrow is going to be a good news day. So I'm hoping that it is, in fact, and that this is the turning point, and maybe from now on it's going to get better. So, on that note, I'm going to believe that, and I'm going to be shooting for that for tomorrow. Take care.